The year was 1892, on the rugged edge of the New Mexico Territory. Dust hung in the air like sorrow that refused to settle. When a canyon landslide took Clara Dawson's husband, the small mining town gathered in silence. They didn't know what to say, tragedy had already taken too much from them. They sent for Wyatt Cole, the quiet gravedigger. A man built like stone, with eyes that had seen too many endings. People feared him. Some said he spoke to the dead more than the living. Others said he'd forgotten how to smile. When Wyatt arrived, Clara stood at the edge of the grave, holding her baby close. Her face was pale, hollowed out by grief. He said nothing, only dug. Each strike of his shovel sounded like thunder in the silence. The townsfolk stayed back, whispering, "She's bad luck now." When Wyatt finished, Clara whispered a trembling, "Thank you," and turned to go. But his rough, raspy voice stopped her. "Ma'am, wait." He held out a small, broken biscuit, his own meal for the day. It was the first kindness she'd been shown since that night. Wyatt could have walked away. He didn't owe her anything. But something in Clara's empty eyes wouldn't let him leave. The next morning, he came back. He mended her broken fence. Cut firewood for her stove. Fixed the hole in her roof. When she tried to thank him, he just nodded, saying, "Storm's coming. Best be ready." Days turned to weeks. The baby began to smile again, and for the first time in years, so did Wyatt. At sunrise, Clara found him sitting on the porch, rocking her baby, a half-empty bottle in his hand. "Why are you helping me?" she asked softly. He looked away, his voice gravelly and low. "Because I've buried too many good folks, and I refuse to bury you, too." Winter came hard to the valley. Snow blanketed the ground where once he'd dug graves. But there were no more graves to dig. Wyatt had found something worth saving, a home, a purpose, a family. He built a fence around her land, not to keep people out, but to keep hope in Indiana. Clara watched him work from the porch, the baby wrapped in a quilt. Sometimes she'd catch him staring at the horizon, whispering to the wind, maybe to the souls he'd buried. But this time, his voice didn't sound lonely. Years later, the townsfolk would tell stories about the quiet gravedigger who stopped digging graves and started building a life. And out there, on the edge of the desert, under a red sunset, Wyatt Cole finally rested, not as a man of death, but as a man who learned how to live. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, hit like, share it with a friend, and follow Western Echoes for more stories from the frontier. Cowboy Hat Face.